Hello and welcome to the South King County Real Estate Update for March 5th. That's right, it is March. Can you believe it? I'm shocked at how fast February went by. I don't know if anybody else is in that boat, but I feel like I blinked and it was gone. But I am here, Sarah Eggleston, with the Stone Egg Realty team at John L. Scott, and I am here to present your weekly update for South King County real estate news. So I'll go ahead and jump straight into my slides. So just a reminder, I have two new classes that are geared specifically for 2021's real estate market. One is geared towards sellers, the other one's geared towards buyers. My home seller strategy session, I have a few programs that I have access to that they're just really great programs to help you position yourself right in the marketplace. So I'll talk about those things that you should do on your house to prep it to get ready, things that probably don't matter as much. So just a little bit of insight on how to get your house ready for this market and different ways to approach doing that, as well as, since it is such a crazy hot, crazy struggling market for buyers right now, a lot of sellers are concerned about how they're going to sell their house and move into the next one. And we will certainly cover some options for that too. For the buyers, your session will be 2 weeks later. And these are different ways that you can structure your offer to win, to maximize the position that you can have in your offer. And yeah, I have some very creative ways of putting your offer above the others that I am excited to share. Just a reminder, my spots are running out for the Sunflower Paint Night. I do have, if you go to the link in the description below, you can register for the Zoom access only portion of it. If you want materials for the paint night, you will have to contact me directly at this point. I have all the spots booked, but I have a couple that might cancel. So just contact me and let me know if you are interested in receiving materials for that night, and I will do my best to make it happen. So what happened this week? Stop my share here. So I have a pretty crazy story to share with you this week. As far as what happened in real estate in our area. This is a story about a listing in Renton. I can't divulge all the details at this point because it's still pending, but I think I don't know, I'm excited to share this story. So there was a broker in our office that had a listing in a neighborhood in Renton she represented the buyer, but purchasing a home in a neighborhood in Renton last year. Now the house next door has gone for sale. The home sold last year was 300 square feet smaller than this new home. But the newly listed home has a much nicer kitchen. So they're kind of comparable properties as far as price. But one's next door to the other. The $800,000 one sold in, I think it went pending in July and sold in August. So this one just went on the market in February. It's pending right now. It was on the market for 6 days. It received 14 offers. The original list price was $860,000, and I mean, for that being 5 months later than the $800,000 one, it seemed like a reasonable listing price. But the action that this house was getting was just so intense. And there's actually realtors that there was like betting pools on what this home was going to sell for among real estate agents. And No one guessed over $1 million, but it is pending currently now for over 100 or over $1 million. I don't know the exact numbers, as I said before, because it's still pending, but it went for over $250,000 over the list price when it was already listed $60,000 over the home next door, what the home next door sold for last year, mid 2020. So there, that's such a huge jump. There's only been 4 home sales in that neighborhood in the last like year and a half. So that could have something to do with the demand for that specific house. But still, that's 14 offers, $250,000 over asking. No one expected that. So it's like the Wild West out there now. Just I wanted to share this story with you because it's pretty shocking, even to real estate agents that are in the business daily. So I'll go ahead and jump back into my slides. So this article was published yesterday in the Seattle Times, and this kind of ties right into what I was just talking about. One house, 45 offers, home buyers in Western Washington hard pressed as supply remains scarce. That is absolutely true. There are so many buyers out there and practically no inventory by comparison. And yeah, we are seeing more homes come to the market. Last year, 5 months in a row, we saw a decline of inventories, decline of new listings. January and February, it has increased as we would expect this time of year. But if you look at King, Snohomish, Pierce, Kitsap, and Thurston counties, it would take less than 3 weeks to sell all the homes that are currently listed. The single family homes that are currently listed in all 5 counties. They'd be gone in less than 3 weeks. And you can see the home values have increased significantly in the last year from $675 to $750 in King County alone. That is a pretty significant jump. It's over 11% higher, and about 3.4% higher in January, or than in January. It's 3.4% higher than in January, which is the biggest month-to-month price jump since June. But if we turn and look at our condos from our single family and look at our condos, there's relatively a lot more inventory out there. And in Seattle, condo home prices dropped 1.3% year over year. So it's not the case across our nation or across King County. On the east side, the median price went up 13% for condos, but this is pretty, if we put this next to our single family residential prices, you can see in Seattle, the median price change went down 1.3% for condos and up 9.2% for single family homes, and significantly more sales. It's just, there's two completely different stories going on here. This is the tale of two worlds. So I just thought this was important to point out. So if you are looking to possibly pursue a condo, now might be a fantastic opportunity. But the case study that from the headline here was a home in Puyallup that drew 45 offers. The listing broker didn't even have time to call all the buyer brokers back. It was just a mass email of, sorry, you didn't get this listing, to 44 different real estate agents across our region. So this is just, the amount of demand per house is just shocking right now. We need some inventory. And so buyers are waiving a lot of their protections, a lot of contingencies that would be normally included. are being waived, like the appraisal contingency. So if the home appraises for less than the offer amount is for, that can cause some problems. And if you waive your appraisal contingency, that means the buyer is responsible for making up the difference of whatever the bank says the home is worth compared to what the offer price is. And we are starting to see some appraisal issues in the last couple of weeks. I've heard from a few more lenders that they're having trouble with homes not appraising for what people are willing to pay. Which, when you're bidding $250,000 over the list price, isn't too surprising. Excuse me, but it's yeah. But there are a lot of people waiving the protections that they would normally keep for themselves in a transaction, and that's can be pretty nerve-wracking for buyers. And in January and February, about 11.5% of pending sales in Western Washington went under contract at least one day before their offer review date. So sellers are setting an offer review date. Say we'll list on Thursday. We're going to review offers on Tuesday. But an offer comes in on Friday or Saturday. That's a very attractive offer, and the seller may choose not to wait until the offer review date and accept the better offer. Some buyers are finding that's the only way they're getting their offer accepted, is to add that extra pressure on the seller of accept this deal now or lose out and go with somebody else. So we're seeing way more of that. Normally, it would be way less than 11.5% of pending sales going pending before that review date. Also in the news in our area, Washington lawmakers advance eviction protections as the end of the moratorium approaches. So the eviction moratorium is scheduled to end March 31st. So normally in real estate, there is a certain number of evictions that happen throughout the year. There's just like a standard level that normally happen. Right now, we are way below that because people really can't be evicted right now unless they're a danger to other people, or the home is being sold, or the owner is moving into the home. So there's a huge gap of people that would have normally been evicted during this time that haven't been. So there's that buildup, plus all of the coronavirus hardships that have been experienced by a number of people. There's a ton of people behind on their rent right now. So they're passing laws to basically provide some sort of off-ramp for these eviction moratoriums as they come into play. We don't want our homeless population to go up instantly on April 1st. We need some sort of transition process to start helping those tenants pay back the rent that they owe, help those homeowners that are renting these homes out, make sure they're able to continue paying their mortgage. And there's honestly about 10% of renters right now that in Washington that have fallen behind on their rent as of mid-February. So that's a huge number of people. It's not like this should be taken lightly. We are talking a large number of people. And the lawmakers did approve some funding to go to renters and homeowners last month. But with this new proposal, it would require landlords to attempt to resolve unpaid rent through a resolution program before evicting the tenant in court. And landlords will also be required to offer a reasonable schedule payment plan. And if the tenant doesn't accept the payment plan within 2 weeks, they can apply for state funding or start attempting eviction. And eventually there'll be a program set up to help low-income tenants set them up with an attorney to represent them in court so that they have a fair chance in court. And that brings us to our market stat minute. So in King County, in the last 7 days, we had 776 new listings, 955 pendings, 796 sold. So you can see that our new listings and listings sold, listing pending, they're all trending upwards at this time, which is exactly what we'd expect to see this time of year. And if you look at our showing time data, so these are key box entries into listed homes for North America, and we have just shot up since that snowstorm. We have definitely shot up on showings, and we're up 28.4% year over year. Bringing us to our mortgage rates. Last week, we had, I spent a lot of time on mortgage rates last week. The broadcast weekly mortgage rate was 2.97 last week, but I talked about how that may not be an accurate reflection of what interest rates are actually doing, and went a little deeper into it. But right now, that weekly statement is at 3.02%. So we've gone up a little bit more from where we were last week. And generally, we're kind of expecting that throughout the year. Economists are predicting that there'll be some modest increases in home loan rates this year, but they'll remain historically low overall. And you can see here's that where we are today. So this updated at just before noon, and I believe that's Eastern time. But we were at 3.29 today. So this is really, you can see we're 3.02 from that weekly statement to 3.29 on the daily dot. It's quite a difference as far as the information is concerned, but these are a point in time, and the ones from Seattle Times and National Association of Realtors, those are kind of like a weekly average. And we had a big dip in the interest rates, and now we went back up again. But as you can see, interest rates are historically low. Again, this would be 3.2, but compared to like 70s, 80s, 90s, any decade prior to where we are today, it is a fantastic interest rate. Anyways, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I would love to chat about the real estate market and what's happening in your specific area. My phone number and email address are on the screen. And make sure that you like or subscribe, whatever platform you are watching this on. Make sure to hit the little bell, and so you get the alerts when I do these video updates. I will be back here Friday at 3 p.m. next week. Thank you so much for joining me for the South King County Real Estate Update for March 5th. I hope to see you next week. Have a fantastic one, and I will see you then.